Oh, Javi, that was quite a kick. Now what do? I want to take you with me. Welcome, my dear pilgrims, to day 3 of my journey on the Camino de Santiago from Sarria. Today was the first day I finally slept better. Although I have to say I did feel a bit cold in the early morning, so I hope it doesn't catch up with me. I usually eat a healthy breakfast, but this time this is going to be pure bliss. I wake up feeling motivated, which I'll need to cover 32 kilometers today. Oh God. And all this after yesterday's effort. I go down for breakfast and find a group of blind men who were also doing the Camino. They had some guide dogs and companions with them, but they adapted so well, seriously amazing. And on top of that, they're super friendly. I'm going to start walking now since I'm with a small group and they're about to leave, so...
Okay, well that's it.
Well, good.
Path.
Likewise, have a good journey. I leave the bar and head to the village church. As I said in a TikTok, I love the churches I'm finding on the Camino de Santiago. Honestly, the peace, the silence, and how beautiful they are make you want to stay there. I stopped to record a few shots and actually stayed there for a few minutes, thinking and getting myself ready for the day ahead. I leave the church and run into Damian and the guys from Mallorca, so today I'll be starting the day with company as well. Today's sunrise is really beautiful. It's a shame the camera can't capture how it really looked. Although it also makes me think about how hot it's going to get at midday. As I said in the previous video, today I'm only going to take breaks when I really need to. I'm not going to make the same mistake as yesterday. I start by asking a couple of friends I made from Mallorca a few questions to see how they're doing. What are your expectations for today? How are you?
See, it's hard to warm up now, but we'll get there. There's a nice little stop along the way, a little octopus.
Oops, sorry. Have a good trip.
Have a good trip.
Yes, there are quite a few people, but with the break and all, we've only had 2 losses.
And we will suffer more losses throughout the day. Keep watching and I'll tell you.
I think things are going to turn out more or less fine.
Well, I hope it doesn't go worse than yesterday. So far, these first 2 days on the road right now, we're heading to Melide. These first 2 days for you, how have they been personally?
The first day was terrible because I wore some shoes I had bought a week ago.
And
obviously it went badly because I hadn't broken them in and my feet were wrecked.
here comes a rookie tip. If you're going to do the Camino, make sure the shoes you use aren't new or just broken in, because they'll hurt you much more than the ones that have already adapted to your feet. You're welcome. We keep walking and passing through these beautiful rural and natural areas. They make me want to stay and live here, but I couldn't because now I was about to experience a fleeting love and a melancholic farewell. Shit, what do I do now? I want to take you with me. Come on, handsome. I swear I was this close to taking him with me in my backpack, seriously. Oh, how cute. We arrived at Melide around 12:30 or 1, if I'm not mistaken, and it was time to stop and have some good octopus. Oh my God. Of course, with this kind of physical effort, you really enjoy and appreciate every meal more. And believe me, I already do. And well, since we were here and I needed some energy for the second part of this stretch, a little cheesecake wasn't going to hurt me. And hey, it was one of the best I've ever tried, really. Here I decided to head out on my own since I was feeling pretty fresh and still had energy. And I wanted to take the opportunity to film some shots by myself. And that's it. Now the second stage is left. Let's see how it goes. Honestly, the first one was pretty easy. And well, I have to say, I really prepared myself mentally for what it was going to be. And it's also the first stage. So you're well rested. You come in recharged with energy. Right now the sun is shining quite a bit, but luckily since it's October, it's not too strong. So honestly, I think this is the best time to do the Camino. Now, probably in this second stage, I'll be walking more on my own because for the first one, I was with someone. Now I wanted to go a bit through Melide to get some shots, to make a video, take some photos and all that. So I'll be more on my own now. Still, I really have to say that I'm definitely noticing my right foot. I have developed a rather painful blister right there. I don't know yet if I'll stop at a local pharmacy to get some supplies or if I will just keep going. So for now, I'm very aware of it, but it's not super bothersome yet. Since I'm going to approach this entire second part of the journey much more calmly and slowly, well, if I feel like I need to take a little break, I'll just do it without any problem at all. There's something I haven't mentioned yet, but it's really cool. And anyone who's done it will already know. It's that this stretch from Sarria to Santiago, of course, when they told me, well, Diego, on this day you're going to Sarria, you start from there to Portomarin, etc. And I was like, but how do I get from one place to another? Do I have to use Google Maps or what? Or which way am I supposed to go? Like, I'm gonna get lost, you know? What am I supposed to do? But no, not at all, not at all. I mean, it's super well signposted there. There are signs everywhere. Plus, since this route is the most popular, you'll see pilgrims and all that, and all you have to do is follow them. Honestly, it's really well thought out. Without a doubt, the first route I would recommend to someone is actually the Sarria one, because of the number of bars, hostels, the pilgrims, the good vibes, and especially the signage, because like I said, that was one of the things I was most worried about, getting lost and thinking, where the heck am I supposed to go? In fact, it just happened to me now. I couldn't see any signs or anything, and I was like, I guess I have to go this way. And I just saw 2 pilgrims. So, well, I just keep going forward and that's it. And one really cool thing that the Camino is giving me is a renewed sense of how important relationships are, something we often overlook. The way I've been treated at the hostels, the people I've met who have been super friendly and kind, it all makes you realize, or rather see and reaffirm, that we all want the same things. We all want to progress, to move forward, to have experiences, to enjoy them, and that's it. And it's precisely experiences like this that are possible thanks to the coming together of people. The people who run the hostels, the people at the restaurants, and the other pilgrims who are all super friendly and respectful toward you. And it's one of the few places where if you say something to someone, they'll respond warmly. In fact, anyone you say buen camino to will answer you back. And for example, nowadays in my city, you walk around and say good morning to someone. And most of the time, you'll just get a monumental silence in return. Also, I'm not sure if I did the right thing by heading out right now. Maybe I should have rested a bit because the sun is blazing like crazy, but luckily since it's October, it's not too intense. I also have to say that since it's been a long time since I visited other towns in Galicia, more rural areas, I love seeing the churches, the stone houses, that peaceful, quiet environment. So natural, really. This stretch I passed through at midday is without a doubt the most beautiful of all the ones I've seen. Look. And also, something very important for me, something I really needed, is that I needed silence. Because with all the noise and the mental noise we have in the constant hustle and bustle of daily life, I really think that people are often stuck in a loop. In my case, I've had to live for a long time with pretty noisy neighbors or in buildings where the walls seem to be made of paper and you can hear everything. You can't sleep well, you can't concentrate. When they don't let you rest, you can't perform well the next day, you're in a worse mood, and having this silence and peace is indescribable. And actually, the issue of noisy neighbors ties into what I mentioned earlier about the importance of relationships, which is that we don't realize how much we can influence the people around us. But the people who have interacted with me, for example, in the accommodations, those good mornings, that, well, how are you, Diego? What do you need? Honestly, to feel that support, that love, that you're being held, that you have people close by, truly that's priceless, and we don't value it at all. And it's something that's so close to us that maybe that's why we don't know how to see it. Just like Galicians who have the Camino right there, right next to us. And that's why we don't do it ourselves. From there, I kept walking in silence because the sun was beating down hard and there was no shade or trees to take shelter under. So my focus was on reaching a bar that wasn't full as soon as possible, but there were hardly any in this area. After a while, I stopped at a picnic area because I was starting to feel unwell and everything. Luckily, I was able to recharge here with some salty snacks and... Oh, I'm out of water. Great. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Adri and Joan, 2 of my buddies from Mallorca, passed by and I took the chance to continue with them. The motivation of walking with someone. However, they barely had any water either. I mean, the situation was unbelievable. Luckily, after a while, we reached the famous Ribadiso bridge where a river runs and many pilgrims stop to soak their feet. And oh my God, it was pure bliss. Oof, what a pleasure, seriously. Plus, there were bars nearby so I could get some water, right? Well, here comes a tragic story. I didn't record it, but basically I was so disoriented from the sun and thirst that I grabbed a big bottle of water without noticing it was sparkling. No, please, no. Believe me, I'm usually very respectful about everything, but who the heck? I like sparkling water, I mean... Sorry, I'll calm down. I kept walking, already low on energy, and finally we arrived in Arzúa. I didn't record anything when I got there because I was completely exhausted, but I stopped at a Carrefour to grab several bottles of water, without gas, and a Powerade, and honestly, it was the moment I've enjoyed drinking the most. And well, then I had a little time to rest by myself. By the way, do you remember I told you that I was a bit cold the previous night? Well, when I got to the hostel, took a shower and relaxed, I started to feel like right before catching a cold. I don't know if you know that feeling when your throat starts to feel weird, you feel weak, or your head hurts. Well, I was experiencing all of that. In fact, when I went to have dinner, I went alone today because the group from Mallorca went to a queimada, but I just didn't have any energy to leave the hostel. Actually, I didn't even finish my dinner. I stayed in the room, just soaking up energy like a plant and trying to recover as much as I could for tomorrow. The easiest days are still ahead, but I really wouldn't like to end up with a cold or something at the very end, so well, let's see. On one hand, you can feel the accumulated fatigue, but also how the body is adapting, so we'll see how tomorrow goes. By the way, I wasn't the only one who had a tough time today. In the end, there were 4 dropouts from the Mallorca group, meaning 4 people had to take a taxi because of pain, blisters, and so on. So, well, all things considered, maybe it's not so bad for me after all. I'm actually not doing that badly. Anyway, we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see how it goes. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching and joining me on this epic adventure, and I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, as long as I'm not sick. A group of, I think they were Mexicans in Puerto Marin at night, were heading back to the hostel and asked me, "Hey, do you know where there's snow?" And I was like, "What do you mean, where is there snow? I should start running." And they said, "Ice cream, ice cream." And I was like, "Oh, please don't ask it like that."